This next one is scary. Pastor Matthew Hagee is angry that the Christians didn't win overwhelmingly in the recent Supreme Court case where they decided to force prayer on us in government meetings. Now Christians are allowed to do a prayer at the beginning of every town or local government meeting. So he's going to talk about how it's not enough that we won. We should have won overwhelmingly. And he's also going to say, here's the scary part, that he's fine with spiritual violence.
Right now, there are a lot of believers all over the country who are rejoicing, I guess, in the Supreme Court's decision of 5-4 to allow the continuation of prayer before public gatherings and governmental hearings. 5-4. I would be happy if it was 8-1, because then we would know that we had one liberal judge that we needed to get rid of. But what we have at 5-4 is one more appointment, and it goes the other way. And prayer is now gone. That's not something that we celebrate in victory. That ought to be something that causes us to be chilled to the bone to consider that it's even a consideration for a Supreme Court decision. It's absolute nonsense for us to be debating the value of prayer. Yet rather than become intrusive enough to make sure that our faith is established in our culture, we have allowed those who are wanting to secularize the world to become violent with people of faith. There is a value in spiritual violence, and it is time that you considered the role that you're playing or not playing, and whether or not it's time for you to become more aggressive in your beliefs.
Whoa, man. Whoa. That end part is really bad. That's really bad. I want you to imagine for a second if it was a Saudi or Iranian cleric who said that. Take exactly what he said, word for word, take it verbatim, translate it into, Islamic, right, Arabic, and have somebody say it from that region of the world. How would we respond? He's saying he's okay with spiritual violence and it's time for us to rethink how we're acting here. Again, imagine if somebody said that who was Muslim. We would flip out. We would say, oh my God, they're in the Taliban. This is the Taliban, this is Hezbollah or Hamas or Al-Qaeda or terrorism. This is unbelievable. Look at these extremists. No, we need to protect everybody from this tyranny, But when our people say it is better, just because you change the religions, it's better. Oppression is oppression. And shoving your religion down somebody's throat is shoving your religion down somebody's throat. If you're in favor of violence for any religious reason, you know what you are? You're a terrorist. It's exactly what you are. The definition of terrorism is doing a violence for a political ends. His political ends is forcing Christianity on people. And he's saying, yeah, spiritual violence, rock and roll. That's no different than Al-Qaeda. And think about it. How many abortion clinic bombings have we had in the United States? That's terrorism. Okay, that's no better than people doing it of a different religion. I love how people have the double standard where they think, well, no, if it's the religion of Christianity, it's a random act of violence. Whoa, wait a second. So why is it that whenever there's a Muslim or it's Islamic terrorism, it's coordinated and it's all Muslims and it's terrible and look out for it and it's let's talk about it 24/7. But if it's KKK lynching or if it's an abortion clinic bombing or if it's a right-wing terrorist attack, like a sovereign citizens movement, or the people, Clive and Bundy, show up armed with weapons, armed with guns, pointing them at people, at federal agents, okay? How come in that scenario, if it's in favor of a right-wing ideology or Christianity, well then, oh, no, those are just some random Looney Tunes. There's not a coordinated action. They're not together. It's not terrorism. No, we can't use the word terrorism. They're white. They can't do terrorism if they're white. Hello, he's a Christian. Spiritual violence, man. Think about that. That's not okay. Now, the other parts about this isn't the first time that we've had this kind of rhetoric from the Hagee family. His father, Pastor John Hagee, who's even more gross, has said that people without a job should, quote, starve just like Jesus would want. And, quote, here's the unbelievable part. Again, this sounds like the Taliban. Death is better than compromise. Death is better than compromise. What are you willing to put your life on the line for? Jesus said, if any man comes after me and he's not willing to forsake his father and his mother, he cannot be my disciple. What are you willing to die for? What are you willing to put your life on the line for? Oh, you're not willing to put it on the line for Jesus? You're not willing to die for your religion? That's a problem. You know who else says that? That's exactly what they say when they're training the little kids to be suicide bombers and strap on the vests. What are you willing to die for? Are you willing to die for Allah? If you're not, that's a problem. What are you willing to die for?